Hello everyone and welcome back to another breakdown. Today we're gonna talk about the song Is Us by Aphex Twin. It's a song that was released in the year 1997 along with the EP Come to Daddy. It's kind of a drum and bass song. It's a short song also, less than 3 minutes. It may feel simple, but if you dig deeper into it, you find a lot about composition, production, arrangement, and how Aphex Twin uses his production skills to build a great song. Apparently, he did that using Music Tracker, which is a software similar to DAW, but that works in a different way. You see it more in a vertical way. It's more vertically. And I don't know how to explain how it works because I didn't really understand it, but there is a great video about it that Ben Jordan did, and I'm gonna leave the link in the description. You guys should check that out if you're interested. But I also found, as I was researching to make an Is Us breakdown and recreation, and a video that was allegedly uploaded by Aphex Twin himself. I'm not sure if that's the case, but there you can see how the Music Tracker works. It's I'm gonna leave the link in the description too. It is a Vort Has Been version, but not with the drums and that rhythm, and it actually shows a lot about Aphex Twin's work as a composer too. But enough of talking, let's now dive into the song and let's try to find out what makes this song so good, so impactful, even though it's a short song and apparently simple, right? So let's dive into the song. Alright, so here we are, Is Us by Aphex Twin. In this track here, we have the original one, as Aphex did, and here I have my recreation, my MIDI recreation, using virtual instruments and some samples too, to try and recreate something close to the song. What we are actually trying to build here is it's maybe a template or maybe something to guide us while we are producing our own songs, and because it's such a decision-making process that it's sometimes tough to know what to do in a certain moment, and by dissecting songs like that we can maybe get some ideas, some directions that we could also use in our own productions. Before anything, let's talk about the BPM. It's a very common BPM. It's around 119. It fluctuates along the song. We talked about that in some other videos that I covered, some Aphex Twin songs. We have a video here talking about X-Doll and also Alberto Balsam. I advise you guys to go and check that out too. But yeah, as you guys can see here in this automation, the time changes a little bit. That could be because he used analog gear. I don't know. I tend to think that it's because he did using analog gear, but that could also be some interpretation from me. I don't know, somehow I'm changing the tempo, or maybe I don't know what could be. But the point is that it is around 119, and the reason I added the automation here is because if I just put the 119, it will not be synchronized in certain parts here. If I can show you guys that, I'm gonna delete here and just keep the original time. I'm gonna activate the metronome and let's hear a little bit. If I jump to this area here, it starts to get a little bit off. I don't know if you guys can also hear that. I'm gonna change the sound of the click. I guess it's clear here. It's okay, right? But around here, and that's why I had to add that automation to the time here. Now with the automation, it's fine. Okay, here, but also here too. As you guys can see, it gets to 118, so it fluctuates. If it's just a product of recording with an analog gear, it's cool, it's fine, but you guys can also add this to your own songs to give the time a little bit of an organic feel, and maybe to make the instruments and everything to move a little bit. It's also good to try and make the song breathe somehow, you know, to behave naturally, something like that. Okay, so let's talk about so let's have an overview about the song, the structure. We have here this little intro. So this is a sample that Aphex Twin recorded from his nephew. He was like following him around and trying to get something, and for that he did some faces. He did some weird faces, and the kid reacted like that.
Stop making that big face!
I'm gonna deactivate this metronome.
Stop making that big face!
And we get the actual song here. It's interesting again that he uses that. In Alberto Balsam, we also heard something similar. It's a great way to call the attention of the listener to your track. If you think about it as in a playlist of an album or something like that, it's a great way to call the attention of the listener. But after that, we have the actual song. The main instrument, or maybe the main instrument is this keyboard here. It sounds similar to an electric piano, but I guess it's a synth. I don't know what synth he used, doing something with, probably using some sine waves. I don't know. I am not so sure about the sound design of this instrument, but I think something close to an electric piano would do the job. But yeah, we have here this intro that it's a sample of a kid. Then we have the actual loop idea. The main idea should be this part here. It lasts for 8 bars, and he's gonna play it once and play it again and then again. So this whole area here should be the A part of the verse. So after that, you can see here that he adds a lot of drumming and some samples. He's gonna repeat all that, and after this we have this other section here that goes from here until this point, and this area here should be the B part, or I don't know, verse 2, and from there on it's gonna be the A part once again here. Okay, so this whole area here, it's another A part, but we're gonna call it A part 2 because it's a different version to the A part. There are different melodies and different instruments, and he changes a lot everything that he presented before in the first A part. But that's the main structure of the song: an intro, an A part, a B part, and then again the A part, but in a different way, different presentation to the elements that he showed us before. All right, so let's talk about each section, dissect each section. So as I already talked about,
stop making that big face.
So we have here this sample. It's a really simple idea, but it's a great way to create already an atmosphere to the track, or maybe just to call the listener his attention. It's like saying, hey, listen to the song. So as we already saw and heard, he starts the song pretty much playing this first 4-bar loop idea here, along with just a kick for the first 2 bars, and the last 2 bars is gonna already introduce us to the beat, to the drums. It's pretty much a 4-bar loop song, except the second 4-bar loop has some variations that create the feeling that we are actually hearing an 8-bar loop, because we have this evolving kind of effect to the chords. But the main idea is this 4-bar loop here. I'm gonna demonstrate it to you guys now. Let's hear the actual song, the original one first. The drums entering here. We're gonna move to this area here, and you guys will be able to check that a little bit better, I guess. I could just loop that and keep playing it, and you know, it would feel like the song is. But it actually has some differences. Alright, this loop ends like this, and this one ends like this. Other than that, you guys can see that he also plays with the pitch, and on every 8-bar cycle he will do some variation to work as a pickup to the next 8-bar cycle, or to introduce a new instrument or something like that. We're gonna talk about that a little bit later. Alright, so let's actually talk about the loop idea, the 8-bar cycle. Let's hear it. It almost sounds like the same, but it isn't, I promise you. Alright, here he plays this kick, and then the drums enter fully. So let's talk about what is happening here. First, the main idea, the core idea is this one. I'm gonna highlight it so you guys can listen to it, and maybe it's a bit more clear of how it's a little bit different, especially here at this last part here. That's how it ends. This one ends like that, and this one ends like this. Alright, let's hear it now, highlight it. I guess here it's really obvious, but we also have some other variations here, so let's hear just this part here and here. Alright, just the original so you guys can check it a little bit better. We have this descending line here, while on this one we do not have that. Alright, as you guys gonna see, it's not that accurate. I didn't mind having some minor differences and probably some mistakes, but I don't know, I just thought about making it simple and get the core idea, get the main feeling to the song. and because it's a little bit hard to get these chords too. But an interesting thing here, as I was trying to figure the chords, I actually found out that he probably detuned his synth minor 50 cents, as you guys can see here. I added this shifter. It works changing the pitch of instruments, of digital instruments, of MIDI instruments. As it was hard to figure the notes, I thought maybe he changed the pitch a little, because I could hear it, but it wasn't really accurate. So I'm gonna demonstrate it to you guys now, how it worked. All right, this is just my recreation of the keyboard. If I play the original along with it. All right, that was fine. I'm gonna leave it on the original pitch here, and as you guys gonna listen to it, it already changes a lot. I'm gonna now put it here. See, it's close, but it's definitely clashing. If I'm right, I don't know. If I put it here, minus 50 cents. Closer. It's not also that exact or accurate, but I guess he detuned his synth by some proportion. I'm not so sure, but I think it's something around minus 50 cents. 50 cent. And yes, so after that it was a little bit easier to figure things out. I'm gonna show you guys the notes that he's probably playing. The second 4-bar loop. Alright, the chords here. I think it's a little bit difficult to say what chords Aphex is playing here, because I don't have that great ear, and you know, he's not really giving us that much. But I think this one is pretty much doing a D sharp minor first, to then getting to this C sharp major chord around this area here, this whole area, to then get to this G sharp minor chord. So it should be like D sharp minor, C sharp major, G sharp minor. Alright? And then again, the same. Alright? I think that's it. If you disagree with the chords, please leave in the comments. Say something. I would love to hear your idea about it, because I do not have a great ear, so that would be great. So some differences that I've noticed in this cycle here. One that is pretty obvious. It's in time. I'm gonna mute my recreation. Just the original, alright? I'm just gonna duplicate this to show you guys if it was a 4-bar loop idea, it would work just fine here, right? So, did you guys catch that? Here. This chord here, which is the C sharp major, it starts a little bit earlier in this 4-bar cycle, in this first 4-bar cycle here. Alright. I'm gonna activate the metronome, maybe that would help some of you to get that. And here, you see, if I would put the right version of it, it actually should be like this. You see it? it's a little bit hard to actually see that. You have to listen to it a little bit more, a little bit closer. But maybe that will show you guys. Let's see, it's gonna happen here. See how late it is? If I could compare this one to this one here, put it underneath this, you can see it now. This one starts here, and this one starts a little bit later. So that's one difference. Another one I already showed you guys is this minor. It's this descending line here. All right, but they're pretty much doing the same chords. So pay attention to this last one here. Okay. A little bit different, all right? You guys are gonna notice that I didn't transcribe any bass to this song. I believe the bass is in the keyboard. That's what I did. I guided myself for the kind of melody that I hear in this harmonic instrument, and also the bass, the lower frequency that I'm hearing in this keyboard electric piano thing that Aphex Twin is playing in this song. Alright, so that's why I think there's a lot more frequency to this instrument and to what he's playing, but the main goal here is to get the core idea and to understand how he arranged the song. Okay, so as I already talked about, we have the kick here. I'm gonna highlight it too. I don't think that's necessary, but just to show you guys how it sounds. Alright, and it's gonna happen again here. I'm gonna mute this. Do you hear it? So as you guys can see already, it happens on every 2 bars. We have 2 bars here, and then here, and then here, and here, and so on. It's gonna change a little bit later, all right? But along with that, as we talked about, after this first 2 bars, we have the drums, the full drums. And we also have another kick. This one is a little bit subtle, but it's there and it's pretty obvious once you hear it. Let's try to get that. Let's listen for the kick here. I'm gonna play it from the beginning so you guys can see how it enters. Here we don't hear a second kick, and here it's pretty obvious. So let's go. Let's try to catch this one. You hear it? It's like tum 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 tum. This one sounds a little bit more like an 808 kick, and this a little bit more like an acoustic kick. I don't know if that's the case, but they're definitely different. This one is a lot more heavier, has a lot more of a low frequency, and this one is a little bit subtle and more percussive somehow. I don't know how to explain that better, but you can hear the difference in the sound. As a snare, we have a sound that's probably a layered sound of a clap and a snare. And it's an interesting sound because it morphs throughout the song. Sometimes it sounds more like a clap, and sometimes it sounds more like a snare. So yes, we have this 808 kick, as we're gonna call it, and we have this acoustic kick here. It's doing this more of a syncopated rhythm. It's interesting because when you do that with the kick, you make such a crazy kick that it's not happening in the strong beats, that being the 1 and on the 3. You kind of lose the foundation to your song, the heaviness that it needs sometimes to the rhythm. But and I think that's probably why he uses this 808 kick here, this heavier kick here happening on the strong beats here. It happens on the 1 and on the 3 and gives us the foundation that the rhythm needs, since the kick is such in a syncopated timing. All right, and that's an interesting effect that you definitely should pay attention to. The snare, along with the clap, is doing a pretty standard rhythm. It's playing on the second and on the fourth of every 4-bar loop, and it doesn't change much throughout the song. It will only drop from time to time, and the sound design of it's gonna morph, as we talked about. I talked about the kick, but I didn't highlight it to you guys, so let's hear it highlighted, and it's gonna be a little bit more clear. Just the song highlighted. Okay, and now let's highlight the clap and the snare. That's pretty obvious, but let's just do it. Let's listen to the original. It's getting more of a snare sound towards the end of the 8-bar cycle. The first here sounds a lot like a clap, but the last one a lot more like a snare, I believe so. But here I didn't do that much of work on that. But I don't know, there are ways to get that. You could just work with the volume, some of the compression, and something like that, or even that's maybe manipulation to the nature of the sample that he's using. Maybe it's more of a complex sound than what we are using to this recreation. And to make the drum complete, he also adds this ride sound. It looks and it feels like a sample because of the groove that is playing, but it's tough to understand it accurately because it's kind of a washy sound, as the tail of the ride cymbal, it's so long it kind of forms this weird mass of sound. But I think it's playing on every 18th note, and I'm gonna try to demonstrate to you guys that. All right, can you hear the high frequency behind everything? I'm gonna highlight it. You don't hear it, just a song. So that's pretty much the rhythm of the song, this idea here. He's gonna change things a little bit later, but they're not gonna differ that much from this core idea here. So yeah, you have this 4-bar cycle that kind of repeats again, but in a different way, that forms this 8-bar cycle. As I told you guys, here at the end, it's gonna do something interesting. Let's play this last 4-bar here. We hear a drop in the pitch, and that's not happening just because. There is a reason for that, and it's to introduce this little melody here. I call the instrument bell because I'm not sure if it's bells or if they're bells or not, but I think that's the sound. That's sounding something close to that. That's what I used. It's not really a complex or different or important melody, but it creates a movement to the song, and also to keep the loop interesting too. We see here on every video that we covered so far, because there is this loop oriented idea in electronic music. Almost always we have to get a lot of tools to keep the loop ever changing and ever growing, to always try and make it more interesting as it goes, as it repeats itself. So doing that, Aphex did this drop in the pitch. He's dropping the pitch of the ride, as I believe so. If you guys want to check that out along with me, you see that the electric piano is fine, and we also hear the last snare. Only thing that I think is happening is this effect here on the right, which I recreated in my own way. Alright, if you want to just see my own version of it. Something like that. My recreation at this point should sound something like this. Alright, the original one. Both of them now. Okay, so we have here another 8-bar cycle. The kick, the 808 kick, is gonna pretty much do the same. It's gonna pretty much keep doing the same thing along with the acoustic kick. We're gonna have a little difference around in this area as we're gonna talk about, and we also are gonna be presented to new elements, as you guys can see here. So let's check that out. The pitch drop. First, you have this here. It sounds like bells. I'm not sure, so I tried to recreate it as a bell. The notes that it's playing, I think it's playing the A sharp 3 times, going to an F sharp, then an A sharp again, to then a C sharp. If I would highlight it, you guys can check that with me. Let's hear it. Okay. It starts really high and it gets down here, so it's an interesting idea. I'm gonna try to show you guys a little bit better. All right. Just the actual song. Got it. So along with that, we also have another percussive element that will be added in this part. I was calling it a cabasa, but I think it's a tambourine actually. It's just a weird translation thing to me. Anyway, the sound of the tambourine, as you guys can see, is something like this. Just the original song, and try to listen for the tambourine along with the rides. All right. It gets a little bit more spaced, I guess. I'm gonna try to highlight it. You see it? Okay. It sounds a little bit close to what I think it's a tambourine. I'm not that sure. Anyway, and in this area, we hear, I guess for the first time, this kind of a snare, it's a percussive instrument, and it's playing this groove. I think it's a sample from somewhere. I'm not sure from where, but it's adding a lot of grooveness. It's adding a lot to the rhythm. Let's listen and try to see if we can catch that. This one is just to mark where it happens. I don't think it can show you much. I'm gonna try to highlight it just so you guys can hear it. It's pretty obvious in this area. Okay, it happens again here. Just a song. So I didn't really recreate this part here. It's a little bit tough. If I could find a sample that was close to that, we could try and recreate this. Because it's a groove thing, it would be a little bit more complex. But you get the idea. At the end of this 4-bar cycle, we have again another variation to the drums. He keeps playing with it to again make the track breathe, to make it alive and organic and everything I already talked about. So let's hear what he does here. I think what he did was reverse the tambourine along with the ride cymbal and muted this last note here, this last snare and clap note there. And after that explanation, let's try to see if you guys can also agree with me. From here. Okay, my recreation of that part should sound something like this. The actual song. It's a cool effect to repeat the loop once again, even though it's not really going to repeat that much because this last 4-bar cycle here, it's a little bit different, and as we talked about. All right. So in this area here, it just is gonna pretty much keep the same idea, keep the same rhythm. The percussive element is gonna show up once again, and then we have another 8-bar cycle. As you guys are probably noticing by now, I'm seeing it, and I think that's how he did it. He's moving the song in sort of a 8-bar pace, in this sort of 8-bar cycle. Every 8 bars, something happen that it's gonna change the track a little bit. And sometimes in the 4-bar cycle, he also, in the 4-bar cycle mark, he also can change something, as we see previously, as we saw previously. So in this one, we're gonna have again another great technique that Aphex presents us. And the beginning of this loop, the keyboard is gonna do something interesting. Let's see if you guys can perceive that without me telling you what to perceive. I think it's pretty obvious, right? It almost sounds like someone is playing another song along with it, like when I play the recreation along with the original song. I think that's because he's probably playing with the stereo image of the track, especially the keyboard, the electric kind of piano, the electric piano kind of sound. And I recreated that with the chorus of this thing here that I'm using. I'm only activating the chorus here. If you guys see the automation of it, it's off throughout this whole part here and activates only there. So it should sound something like this. You see it? It makes us close to what he's achieving there, because the chorus kind of plays with the stereo image in the same way. I'm not sure if he's using a chorus or whatever, or what, but as I showed you guys, you can get close to that. And that's not the main importance to that technique. It's actually a great way to vary things in your song, to vary a loop. Just to play with the stereo image in the first loop there would make the listener react to your song once again, and we want a lot of that. All right. Along with that, we have here a new instrument. It sounds like a synth string preset or something like that. It's playing a really simple kind of melody thing, but it adds a lot to the song, as you guys gonna see now. So let's keep that chorus effect in mind, and let's listen for this new instrument. As you see, an A sharp, a G sharp, a C sharp, and an F. And the interesting thing about this is that as I was trying to transcribe it, as I was trying to listen to it and get the notes that he was playing, I obviously tried to detune it also by minus 50 cents because it should be tuned after this main keyboard idea. But for my surprise, it's actually not minus. It's actually not detuned. This one is sounding in the key in a normal pitch 0 cents, which is interesting. He purposely adds a lot of dissonance doing this. It's an interesting technique. It obviously helps to make the string sound cut through the mix, sound a little bit more clear. But I guess it's not something you would do that often, because when you mess with the tuning of stuff, you have to be careful not to make it too dissonant. But I think that's not the case. And maybe you guys are not believing in me. So I'm gonna demonstrate to you guys how it would sound. So let's check this instrument now. It's not that far. It would be okay if I leave it like that, but let's now compare to the actual pitch that the song is playing. Can you hear the difference? Highlighting it, just the song. Let's do the same now, minus 50 cents. Just the song. Highlight, I'm gonna highlight it. See it? Again, you may disagree, but if you do, leave in the comments and we're gonna talk about it. All right? Yeah, it's an interesting sound. He's playing, I guess, a lot with the beat depth of the, I don't know how to say this word, but this one is a great example of that. If you can see it. See how this sounds at the end. It's more soft here. It's a soft sound in the beginning, but it's a harsh sound at the end. I think this is bit reduction. I'm not sure, but I recreated with Redux. It's a great audio effect, standard plugin from Ableton. I use it a lot. If you want to get close to that effect, you guys should use it too. I'm gonna highlight it now. Just my version. There's a lot of dissonance. It's weird once you notice, but it sounds fine in the actual song. I don't know if it changed anything. But the percussive idea, it's gonna happen again. It complements a lot the snare, because the snares and claps, they're pretty simple, like I said before, so we kind of need that to pop up somehow in the song. And here, the tambourine, it's more present too. I'm gonna highlight it. All right. At the end here, at the end of this A-bar cycle, of this A-bar cycle, you hear pretty clearly the percussive instrument. And the tambourine too. The snare almost sounds like it's morphing with the percussive instrument. But I don't think there is a snare here. I guess it's just a percussive thing. I don't know. Not sure on that. But the kick and the 808 kick. Keeping the same pattern. The major difference, the major new thing is this string melody here. You have the main idea, the core idea for 24 bars. And after that 24 bars, we have the B part that we saw earlier. All right, as you can see, this is the part where the track begins to vary a lot in rhythm and in chords too and everything. Okay, so talking about chords, actually let's listen to how it changes. Just the song, just the original. It's a cool thing. I just noticed there is this kind of a delay on the right cymbal. Just a hint, I don't know. Cool effect once again. And I guess there is like a reverse the snare too. Yeah, definitely. There is a normal snare, and there is just there is a normal snare and a reversed one. It's interesting. He plays a lot with reversing in this track. And I didn't recreate that part. I probably was doing this somewhere, but you get the idea again. All right, let's talk about the new chords that he's playing here. This section was even harder for me. Oh my god. Okay, I'm gonna play my version along with the original first, so you guys can get a good idea of the chords and the sounds. We have some minor differences from time to time here. There is this A-bar cycle kind of idea happening, but there is a lot more of a variation because in the second time that the A-bar cycle happened, it again changes. But it's pretty much just 2 bars now, the core idea for the loop. So it's pretty much that, and the chords. Again, was hard to understand it. But I think a way to see this, and as I played along with it, is to see this one here is an F and a D happening. It could be an A sharp major chord, but I believe so. That's the second chord here. And the first one, I think it's a D diminished chord as I played along with it. But in this area, I could only hear an F and a D, and that's pretty much the information we have to this chord. But I think the chord progression should sound something like a D diminished to an A sharp major chord to then a D sharp minor chord. So I put the notes here, and it should sound something like this. I'm going to show you just my version of it. Alright, and the actual song along. So I think that's what he's playing somehow. I'm not sure, but I think that's the main idea, the core idea, the feeling of the song. All right, and I guess that's what matters. And we have some minor differences here in rhythm, as you guys can see. The second. You see that it's not that different, this one from this one, but here we hear a lot of difference, especially in the bass. You hear this one, doesn't happen here. We don't have the same low frequency that happens here. So I think that it's just a way to, again, make the track a little bit more alive and breathing and organic and whatever. Again, another difference. We have this higher bass. Okay, cool. If you want to check this out by yourself, I can send you guys the project files and everything. Just send me an email and we can talk about that. All right. So we have here the rhythm section. It's a little bit more weird now. As you guys can see, we have this drop on the main section of the drums right after the string instrument. We hear only the 808 kick, then we hear the drums as we know it, another drop here, and there is like a delay effect that only happens here that makes the kick to repeat itself a little bit later. Okay, something like this. Alright, something close to this. Okay. The rides come back. The tambourine, which is gonna be reduced in its bit information. I don't know. I did this with the Redux audio effect here. I'm gonna show you guys. Okay, I'm messing around with this one here. Yeah, it's again another effect to vary the drums and to create this valley of sound that precedes the beat sounding so full like that. Another drop here. We only hear the kick. Again, if you guys can check that out, he's really playing with the beat depth of the instruments. It's like he's making everything distorted and less high fidelity. You see the buzz, you can hear the buzz underneath everything. I don't know if you catch that, but you can hear the buzz, the noise sound, the distorted noise from the kick along with something else. The drum proceeds, and we're gonna have only the tambourine in this area. I'm gonna mute this so you can only hear the original song. And again, he plays with the reverse effect along with some delay. In this one, I didn't bother to get any closer to it, just altered the volume. In this area here, there is only the tambourine and the silence, and it's actually a build up to the A part once again. Again, the same idea, the core idea, the core loop, was capped. It's happening again. We have a new instrument, a new melody, which is this one. I'm gonna highlight it. Okay, I'm doing these notes. It's doing the notes A sharp, F natural, C sharp, A sharp again, and G sharp, and we have the same line in the beginning with the C sharp, a D sharp, a C sharp, and a G sharp at the end there. Okay, again, sounds like something close to a piano played by a synth, some sort of an electric piano. I don't know how we could call it, but it sounds a little bit like this. Just the original song now. I'm gonna highlight it. I think this melody is adding a lot of character to the song. I don't know, it's more emotional, I guess, than this one. There is something melancholic about this melody, and it's a beautiful melody, but so simple. Anyway, the percussive element happening here gets a little bit weirder. The tambourine really present. Drops. Here we have again another effect. Interesting. He filters the whole beat, and in this last two bars, I guess, he's again playing with the bit reduction. I think the hi-hat, I think from the right cymbals, that's how I recreate it. Let's hear just my version so you guys can maybe get the idea a little bit clearer. From here. Okay. I think here is the first time that the keyboard, this electric piano, is silenced. All right, and it's interesting because it happens throughout the whole song, and only from time to time you have a silence to it. And again, another two you guys can use to make the loop, the idea, your track interesting. Now, another 8 bars cycle, and along with this new melody, we have again the string instrument, but playing different notes. This time it's playing the chord. It's playing F natural to A sharp, then F sharp to D sharp. I believe so. And yes, again, adds a lot to the complexity of the song. I'm gonna highlight it. At the end of this 8 bar cycle, again, he shows us this little trick here. Again, this is what I think he did. Let's see if you guys can hear it before I tell you. But there is something happening in this area. Something similar to this one. Before, I told you guys you could achieve that with the chorus effect. Listening to this longer version of it, but listen again to it, which I think is the same technique, or maybe something close to it. And again, it's messing with the stereo image of the song, as you guys can see it. You hear it more differently from your right ear to your left ear. And I think in this case here, I'm gonna loop just this 2-bar cycle. It's clear that there is something reversed there. So what I think that's happening here is that he just probably played reversed version of the end of this loop here, and then put this one all the way to the left and the other one all the way to the right. That's why you hear this change in the stereo image of the song, and also this weird effect. He probably did the same there, but if you guys can check that out, it's only happening in this interval so short that you can't really distinguish the reverse version of it, but in this case it's pretty obvious. My version of it. Alright, I think it's close to what the original one is doing. Okay, cool. So we have again another 8 bars cycle. The same idea as the beginning. Here you have this melody happening in the same way, again the string instrument, and now we are only gonna hear different things in the drums, in the rhythm. The things are gonna get weird. You can hear clearly the percussive, and this area here I believe he pretty much just reversed the whole beat and got back here before the end of the cycle of these 2 bars here. It's interesting. Again, another cool effect to add to your song. I'm gonna show you guys how I did it. Okay, it's not that great, but you get the idea again. So he will continue the song. There is like some sort of a drop in the right cymbal. In this area here, we obviously hear this weird percussive thing. It's crazy now, and it's a big section where we don't hear the keyboard. It's muted here. Wait. And here. The kick usually happens in the strong beat, but not this time. It delays a little bit and happens in this second 18th note. Okay, this is the first 18th note, and then it happens there. It's interesting. Again, as you wouldn't detune your synth like that, you would probably not think of putting the kick in a weak beat as that. But sometimes breaking the rules can be an interesting and fun thing to do to your track. Alright, and this one adds a lot to the groove of the song, especially added to this weird percussive part. From the core idea, we only get the right sample happening as the same. So the acoustic kick is doing something like that, and the 808s is happening this weird time. I recreate it, and it's not close at all, but you get the idea, okay? I'm sorry. So we have this drop here, so this weird percussive idea. The 808s are gonna keep happening the same pattern in this delayed tempo, sort of. But the rest of the rhythm, the rest of the drums, it's keeping the pattern from before, from earlier. We don't hear an 808 there, and we get this fragment to the string instrument, but it's pretty much just varying with the elements that he already presented us. We're gonna hear another drop in the rhythm. This time we get the keyboards. No string. The kick is still happening in this weak beat, which is again interesting. After another 8-bar cycle, the song fades out. It ends similarly to the way it began. The last 8 bars. An abrupt interruption to the drums, to the rhythm. And we only hear this, the tail of the reverb to the string instrument and to the electric piano melody too, but mainly the major role is with the keyboard here. That's cool. Yeah, that's it. That is Us by Aphex Twin. There are a lot of details that I didn't talk about. We have this reversed tambourine that I didn't talk about. I'm seeing this reversed tambourine in this area. Yeah, and I redid it. So you guys are seeing and listening how Aphex structured this song, how he manipulated every detail, and obviously I could get a lot more closer to how it actually sounds, but you know, this is more like an exercise to try and figure out the main idea, the main elements that are forming this song, the idea of the song, and how he presents us through time. How he shows the first loop and repeats it and break it down and repeat it. How he shows us this loop idea, so this loop idea that is so simple, but still, you know, keep the interest to the track alive along the way. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Thanks a lot for watching. If you got to this point, please leave a like and a subscribe. It would help the channel a lot. It is always good to see that anyone is appreciating your work. So if you guys can comment something, or if you guys wanna also suggest anything to the channel, I would appreciate it. Okay, so I'm gonna leave you guys with my recreation, my version of it, and I hope you like it. Thanks for watching. Until the next time.